We need to talk about changes, upgrades, things that are happening to ChatGPT. Now, they gained a lot of attention here recently when they stated that they would be allowing erotica on ChatGPT. And this is a big deal for several different reasons, and it does affect academia. So I want us to make sure that we are understanding things in the proper way and in a shared way. So first, let's understand what exactly is going on. Now, what happened is that Sam Altman came out with a tweet that he was talking about changes that are coming to ChatGPT in the coming weeks. So this will probably be around December time, where they're going to allow some additional enhancements to the current model, things that will allow it to function more human-like, to act more like a real person if you want it to. So this means that there'll be changes in the settings that will allow you to go in and modify it so that it can function more human-like. And for adults, right, for adults only, people that are verified as far as their account, then they will also be allowed to do things like have it respond in an erotic manner, for romance, for companionship, that type of thing. So this is important for us to understand because you have to think, why are they doing this? Why are they allowing this? Now they've come out and stated that, hey, they've always wanted to allow people to use the AI how they want to, and that they're not there to prevent adults from doing adult things, just like there are different types of movies, right? R-rated movies and the like. So they want to give more freedom to people while at the same time still ensuring that there are proper mechanisms to keep people safe and secure. So they are still having limitations on that, right? You can have it do erotic conversations, voice both with audio and with text, but it won't allow for certain types of interactions that it seems that might be dangerous or abusive, those type of things, it won't allow. So the thing is, why are they doing this, right? We still need to get a better understanding. And the thing is that I think if we look over to Grok, now we can see something because Grok has been allowing this. One of the personas that you can choose in using Grok is romantic partner, right? Romance. And so with that, now you can have that AI talk to you in an erotic manner. And again, it's supposed to be for adults. And the idea here is that again, adults can use it how they want to, but even then it also has limitations. It won't be abusive, those type of things. Now, the thing is that if you look and you have to kind of dig hard enough, but you can find that guess which persona is one of the most popular ones within Grok? It's that one. And so is the therapist persona. So the thing is that people are wanting this type of interaction. They're wanting to develop more connection. And this makes sense given other demographics, other aspects of statistical understanding of how people are in general, in that there's a growing amount of loneliness, right? We have issues with romantic connections in general in the general population. In fact, people that are much younger, still adults, but younger adults, they're the ones that are sort of hurting and being lonely the most, and it's a growing trend. Well, if you are in this position, then you could see how having an AI that you could talk to, and again, it doesn't have to be this aspect of full eroticness, but just as a partner, as someone that you care for, as someone that cares for you, even if it's a made up aspect of this AI, it would still function as some sort of connection. And for somebody that's lonely, man, that will serve as a real powerful connection. Now, when we say lonely, there are sort of different aspects to this because, yes, it could be the younger generation that have all sorts of cultural uh, different issues associated with, hey, the Gen Zs, the Gen Y, the millennials, they are increasingly not having interactions like people used to, right? There's much less. People are dating much less. They're getting in relationships much less. So that's the current state of affairs with younger people, but they still want connection. They're just having issues with it. They're waiting longer. They're focusing more on they're trying to develop a career, that type of thing. So AI can fill in for some of that, whether that's good or bad. That's a separate aspect, but it is starting to function more and more in that way, and people want that. Now, if you think about this for an AI company, well, it makes monetary sense as well, because if we're talking about people going in and having a connection with the AI, that means they'll use the AI more. And if you use the AI more, you're also going to be more likely to decide to, hey, I'm going to have pay for a subscription. I'm going to have this additional connection that I'm not limited by the amount of times that I can interact. And through a subscription, well, now I get more features and I can do much more and develop that relationship even more. So it makes economic sense for someone like OpenAI, for a company and organization like OpenAI, like other AIs, to start to allow that to do more and more of that. It makes sense in order for me to connect that much more. Now, having said all that, we have to really think about this as far as in academia, because the way that I interact with I need to learn how to do that properly. So we go once again back to AI literacy. And we need to think about this. Are we helping and preparing our students to be able to interact with this tool that they'll be using for business, that they'll be using for research, that they'll be using for everyday type things to help solve issues and problems? And now it seems more and more that people are also doing it to reach out, to have a connection, to have a relationship, to have a possible romantic partner. So we need to make sure that we are helping our students develop this capability as far as understanding, hey, what is the proper balance of how I should do this? They need to know that, okay, you could use AI to be a friend, to even sort of go in and start to understand relationship connections, but it shouldn't be at the cost of ever building real relationships, right? And AI could help you to gain confidence as far as how to interact with the opposite sex, how to have good communication, how to ask someone out, all these things. AI could definitely help you with. It could go through simulations where you could practice all these things, conversation, all these things. So AI can be a real powerful tool to enhance relationships. Elon Musk has come out and said that, yeah, by having this type of erotic partner, he thinks that it will improve intimacy with real connections with real people, because this will affect that and enhance that sort of connection. That's a possibility. Time will tell. And the thing is that we do have an overall issue of lowering birth rates. There's a lot less of connection happening. So perhaps this could be a tool to assist with that. But once again, it all happens as far as how is a tool being used? Are people aware of both the positives and the negatives? This is something that should be coming out. We need to ensure that we tell people about, hey, yeah, AI can function in this way, but it needs to be used in a balanced approach. We need to think about ethical aspects. We need to think about there could be bias, and using it in an appropriate way, using it in a way that is effective for your own development, right? Not at the detriment of having real connection, but maybe to assist you to develop better connections. And then it also goes back to policies, right? If a if a university, an educational institution is paying for a student to have a subscription to AI, is this an allowable use? Right? These are questions. I'm just posing questions to you for us to think about in academia. Well, then it's this matter of, is it their business? Is it the business of the academic educational institution to be thinking, oh, how are they using? Are we going to micromanage? Is it going to be this aspect of every little thing to include erotic, intimate types of usage? So these are things to consider, because it's an aspect of AI and it ties back to AI literacy, right? So I want to pose this out there. I want you to be aware that, yeah, it totally can be used for this. And it's going to be a growing thing as more people find out and more people want this type of connection. Whether they might be locked into a relationship, a real relationship, there's lots of loneliness among married people, right? There's lots of loneliness. So one of the big things that's happening with the younger generation is that a lot of them are moving in together, not necessarily because of romance. They might do that initially, but then they become locked in. Why? Because it's so convenient to, because of the economic situation, to be connected, to split the bills. But now you're connected with this person, you're living with this person. but you become lonely because the romance isn't really there. You weren't meant for each other, type of thing. Well, now you have a connection where even though you're together, you would have an erotic, romantic partner. Things to consider. I'm not saying whether this is good or bad. I'm saying that this is the reality. So we need to think about this. And again, this ties in with AI literacy to ensure that we're helping people to understand that this exists. What are the pros? What are the cons? What are the consequences? Everything is important, but the big thing is that we should be discussing about this. Remember, AI literacy is made up of awareness, which is key, capability, knowledge, and then critical thinking, making the right choices based off of purposeful thinking and really understanding what's going on with all this. Really interested in your thoughts about this because as things become more real, more human like, and we're talking about audio capabilities right now, in the near future, there'll be video capabilities connected directly to the AI. So it'll be a very realistic avatar. All these possibilities are coming at us very, very quickly. So I'm very interested in your thoughts about what you think about this, how this might improve academia, might harm academia. It all ties together. So it's important for us to have these discussions. All right. Remember, learning is for life. Thank you, everyone. Looking forward to your comments. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe. Remember that we have some great books available for AI literacy, as well as great courses available for you to get a certificate in AI literacy, as well as an advanced certificate for use of AI in academia. Thanks a lot.